Hershey's has a rich history of quality. Candy, confections, theme parks. Such a towering name brand is capable of just about everything, and right away you know it to be of the best quality. That's why Hershey's now introduces Fudge Packers, their new line of butt plugs. Find them in a wide variety of shapes, sizes, colors, and flavors. Fudge Packers, now with almonds. You know, I'm excited, appropriately for episode 269, that the Fudge Packers they now come with almonds.
You know, man, it's just all kind of wrapping up nicely in a little tin foil, butt plug
right.
Shaped candy thing.
Melt in your ass, not your not your hand. I would have used that.
Defeating the dude.
I would have used that tagline if it was Mars bars, but anyway.
Willy Wonka would be rolling over in his grave, hearing his music being played.
Willy Wonka was a murderer. Have you seen that movie? He killed children.
That's true.
Fucking died.
No, Foo. He just made them trip out on some really fucking trippy acid. You know all that candy was laced, dog. You know all that candy was laced.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, what else would make a fat kid dive into a pool of chocolate? You tell me.
You got me, man.
Full-blown diabetes.
Yeah.
Diabetes. Diabetes doesn't exist in Germany.
Well, and then I just wanted to give another shout out and a big thank you for Dianthus for joining us in the previous segment, man. Fun stuff.
It was amazing.
Yeah, great music, dude. And we were talking about them about how their music would just fit so nicely with like an action-packed anime intro. It just tailors itself to that kind of thing.
Or even a dramatic anime, like some type of dark dramatic anime. Mm-hmm. I feel like each of these songs could either be an intro or an outro or some type of like montage scene within the anime itself. Like, dude, I can't wait to see their actual comic book, especially since they tell the stories, of each song. So, man. Yeah. Good find, Foo. Good find.
Yeah. More to come.
I love their, the concept. Moving away from the album into a different media. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And how and they're twins, so like, they live with each other, so they can just work all day on this stuff, So big ups to them, man, and thank you for being on. But getting into Geeking Out, man, what did you want to start with today?
Well, Foos, we've had a lot going on this past week, but first, what I will start off with is I recently went to go see Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Oh yeah, how was that?
With my nephews and little sisters. It was amazing, Foo. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm seeing that the Rotten Tomatoes audience is giving it a 98.
Yeah, man, every bit of it, 98% is so accurate. It's good from start to finish. It's a kids movie, so you have some kiddie elements to it, but by all means, it still holds the comedic value. The opening scene, you Foos, I'm sure will go watch it. Foo, I know you don't care about spoilers, but quick spoiler alert, everyone. Opening scene is pretty much you see Robotnik on that mushroom planet. And you see all his insanity. It's kind of like Castaway, like a whole little Castaway theme he has going on. With it. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good, man. So I won't give any sparing details, but it's a hilarious take on it. Jim Carrey just hit this whole movie out of the park. Same thing with the rest of the cast. James Marsden, still good as Donut Lord from the first one. And then Sonic, man, John Ralphio. Freaking dude, John Ralphio. He's amazing. Ben Schwartz is his actual name.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of other stuff too. Space Force, if you guys haven't seen that on Netflix. It actually got really funny as the first season went on, and second season's pretty good. But it's funny because the Foo was sitting next to me, and there's a scene in there where, because if you see in the trailer, Tom and his wife, they go to Hawaii for her sister's wedding. And so while they're away, Sonic has the house all to himself. So he just does a bunch of crazy shit. Like he brings in the lawnmower in the freaking living room and starts cutting up all of the snacks on the floor and like going crazy. He has like this whole like Tom Cruise like risky business montage. Nice. Instead he's wearing a toga and a bunch of gold chains. And then before they leave, it's funny when they go to Hawaii, he has the whole ring portal behind him, but then he has this fake TSA like metal detector, and him and the dog are both wearing like sunglasses, and he's just like, all right, ma'am. He's all, okay, sections A through 1A through 1B or 2A are now ready for boarding. And so then the woman's walking up, she's like, oh hold on, ma'am, I'm sorry, no, you're not in group 1 and 2, please wait. And then he just kind of waits on the side. He's like, okay, group 3, everyone else, you can board now. It's like, oh, dude, it's so good. And then so him and the little dog are on the couch about to watch a movie. And so he tells the dog, all right, it's your turn to pick the movie. And no, we're not going to be watching Snow Dogs. It's the worst. As soon as he did that, the food turns to me. He's like, oh, wait. Is Sonic played by John Ralphio?
Oh my God.
I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, oh my God. He's like, I can't picture anything but John Ralphio.
Oh, how does he not know this?
I don't know, but he's just like, dude, that made this even better because Sonic's comedic. Everything about Sonic was doing in the movie was pretty funny. And then when you start introducing like Knuckles and Tails, it takes you back to the old style of the game. I remember when Knuckles first kind of arrived in Sega. I don't know if you guys ever played the old Sega Sonic.
Oh yeah,
when it was on there.
I had friends who owned it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I was remember that friend.
Yeah. I remember I played the first one. I loved it. And so then when we got the second Sonic game, as soon as we saw Tails, I was like, what the hell? That dude looks badass. And we're like, wait, why is he so hard to beat? Like, this is bullshit. And then you play as him. I'm like, oh, dude, he's awesome. You can climb up on the walls and all the other shit that you see in the movie. It was so good. And then at the very end, from start to finish, it was great. The little scenes, they even pulled a lot from the games and even from the storyline. And they left a little Easter egg at the end of the movie, signaling a sequel. Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And
so you don't have to give anything away. I take it that if this is Jim Carrey's last movie, then they defeated him and maybe there's another villain. That's my guess.
So they are saying at the end that they defeated him. Okay. They don't show his body at the very end of the movie, similar to how like the last one, but they do show that his influence is still around. So, and his henchman is still around. So possibly his henchman becomes another villainous character. It is possible. I think there's more than just Dr. Eggman has disciples after just him.
Okay.
There's like a few of them.
So, yeah. And in this next one, so it's pretty much out there already, Foos. But they've teased the Sonic's biggest villain and arch rival. None other than Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh.
So, number 3, we're going to be getting Shadow the Hedgehog. And Shadow the Hedgehog is every bit the antithesis of Sonic. Sonic's, the extroverted, goofy, comedic, sarcastic.
He's the Wario for Sonic.
Yeah. He's the Wario to Sonic, except he's more dark. He's not afraid to kill people. Okay. He's a loner, but he does have some type of sense of justice, just more of like a dark sense of justice.
Okay.
So it's going to be pretty dope to see because, and you'll see it in the movie, but I 100% agree with the 98%. But, as my, overall rating, I would give it an 8.5. It's still a kiddie movie, but it's by far an amazing kiddie movie. Yeah. And it's definitely worth it if adults want to go see it. If it has a lot of.
If animation has taught us anything in the last 20 years, is that it can be tailored for kids and adults with even little jokes that only adults really get or have these double entendres. I can never say that word after watching The League anymore.
No.
For
there's
those
no
who
such
watch
thing as
The
double
League,
entendre. It's Andre now.
It's entendre. Well, that's cool. I'm excited to go watch it. Tomorrow, Steph and I have plans to watch this other movie that it fits perfectly into Geeking Out, especially with, it's not a Marvel movie, but with the discussion of the multiverse and everything like that. There's this other movie that just came out that I think is very much up our alley. It's called Everything Everywhere All at Once, and to me, it's not getting the attention that it deserves, and I hope that they prove me right tomorrow when we go check this movie out. It's getting 97% critics and 94% audience score. And here, let me try to pull up a synopsis here. When an interdimensional rupture unravels reality, an unlikely hero must channel her newfound powers to fight bizarre and bewildering dangers from the multiverse as the fate of the world hangs in the balance. It's rated R. It's in English, but it's like an all-Asian cast. And let's see, the protagonist here, or at least the main character is the actress Michelle Yeoh, and she plays a character called Evelyn Wang. And I've checked out the trailers on this, and it's all over the place, so I can't make sense of it. All I know is that it's a multi-dimensional kind of movie where she goes from one world to the other and tries to solve problems that happen.
I'm excited for this movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man. It actually sounds pretty badass, and it's produced by the Russo brothers,
Yeah.
Anthony and Joe Russo, so interesting.
Yeah, it's...
and is it only playing this weekend, or?
So it's like a limited release, so maybe by all accounts, it seems like they had a good budget, but maybe not for marketing, because I'm not seeing this everywhere. It's a 2-hour and 12-minute movie, but that doesn't warrant them not like actually pushing this movie, especially with the ratings it's getting, and you're not seeing it like in more than one kind of like theater room. So it's only in one room in the AMC bias that we're going to go check out when, meanwhile you have fucking Morbius in multiple rooms, which doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Foo, it's just not fair.
This is the world we live in, everybody.
I mean, Steph is evidence enough, Foo. Sometimes people don't count for quality.
Stop talking.
Yeah, so I encourage everybody to check this out and let us know what you think. We're going to go check this out tomorrow, the day before this podcast releases. So by then, we would have already seen it and then taken our weekly trip to Costco.
Yes.
But yeah, man, that's it for my end. What else did you want to discuss?
Well, Foo, I mean, that's not just the only thing that's been happening. We've actually had some bad news recently.
What's that? We already talked about Morbius.
Oh, no. Well, we're always talking about Morbius, Foo. We're always talking about Morbius. In fact, Foo, here's another meme. Morbius wasn't even that bad. It wasn't that bad. It just needed better acting, casting, plot, directing, characters, effects, lighting, scenes, structure, soundtracks, and editing.
That's it.
Yeah, just that, dude.
At this point, you guys are going to talk so much more about Morbius than the actual length of the movie. Just watch the movie.
That's my goal, Foos. That's my goal.
Yeah.
To have more content than the movie itself, so the people only look at our content.
Yeah. And, it just like the Will Smith slap, that lasted like, no more than 10 to 15 seconds. We can talk about this thing all day.
Yeah.
Over it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Steph's just bitter.
You guys are going to love this movie. Okay? You're going to love it.
You know what? Just because you said that, I already have an inherent prejudice towards this movie, so I'm going to hate it. No matter what.
I know the food's
Even if I like it.
The food's going to like it more than you.
This is going to be my new Everclear.
Oh,
I may like it, but I will never. But I never tell you. I'll never tell you if I do or if I don't.
I know you like them. I know you like them.
He likes them.
You have no evidence. You have no evidence.
He has such a hatred.
It's in your iPod. Them. It's in your fucking.
No, it's not, Foo. How do you know? You know nothing.
All right.
Where's this evidence?
Please show me your phone.
You have to get a fucking warrant to show my phone.
Open it up.
Taking it to the grave.
Oh, they're playing soon. You want to go?
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
See?
Shut up.
Well, Foos, and other worse news, Ezra Miller is just tanking it, dog. He's throwing it all away.
Dude, yeah, so much so that Warner Brothers had an emergency meeting on whether or not they need to release this movie that already got pushed back to March of 2023 for The Flash.
And they're really trying to downplay that because, Rolling Stones did report that they did have an emergency meeting of Warner Brothers to pretty much kick or stop all future projects with Ezra Miller, not only with, DC properties, but also with, the whole Harry Potter and other works that they had in play. So Warner Brothers, I'm assuming they paid IGN to put out a report and say, no, there's nothing going on. We didn't have a meeting. We're not concerned. It's like, Dick, you got to be concerned. This is like a huge star. There was already reports that he was being a, piece of shit or a little, asshole on set. Mm-hmm. So I would not be surprised if they either replaced him, but the problem is they'd have to redo all of these shots that they've done and delay the movie even longer.
And he's the protagonist, so he's like in virtually every shot.
Or be creative with the ending so that a different Flash takes over. Potentially like a Wally West or, who knows? Because they're doing Flashpoint, so Flashpoint they can go in any direction since it's a multiversal type of movie. Just
do Grant Gustin already.
I mean, dog, you're telling me. And Grant Gustin's actually been saying he wants to leave the TV show Flash because he wants to do more. He wants to do more like movies and other stuff. So,
yeah,
dude, I agree. He should have been the Flash to begin with. I was upset that they even decided to go with a different Flash.
It's Warner Brothers, dude. They're all over the place.
You're telling me, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really hopeful that it's not going to ruin the quality of the movie. Especially since it's in featuring Michael Keaton's return as the OG Batman, which is that's really going to upset me if it somehow.
I really hope that dovetails into a Batman Beyond flick, a little later on.
And it should do because this is the perfect opportunity for them to do something a little bit more original with Batman. Like, it's still Batman. It's just, it's not the Bruce Wayne that we're all used to. It's a completely different take on Batman, and it's what we need at this point. Like, everyone's done the Bruce Wayne character, and don't get me wrong, I've loved every iteration of it, except for George Clooney. But, every other iteration.
You like bat nipples, dude?
Oh, God.
You're killing him.
Oh, no. They brought up the bat nipples. The bat nipples. I'm having it. I'm coming, Elizabeth. No, Foo. I did not like the bat nipples.
Okay.
I did not.
Yeah. I thought that was a cheerful choke.
No, Foo. I was gasping because I was almost gonna die from such a travesty of a mention. But I'm fine now.
Okay.
But I mean, everyone's done the Batman character too much, so now let's do a little something different. There's nothing wrong with getting a little, going a little different, which is what kind of they're doing with Superman. Now they're saying that they're going to be replacing Henry Cavill, or they're not going to be moving forward with Henry Cavill as Superman in the near future.
Jesus.
They're going to be focusing on Supergirl.
Okay.
So
I don't
who's
hate
coming
that,
out in
but
the new
Henry
Flash
Cavill is Superman.
He's not going to be replaced. Okay. They're just going to focus mostly on Supergirl now. Yeah, pretty much. Like, they're not going to have him featured in quite some time. Probably like in another Supergirl, or probably in Supergirl. He'll probably be in there, but then something happens. I don't know. We'll see. For they're still kind of up in the air as far as that Supergirl property. Foo. I mean, Ezra Miller's just fucking this shit up. He was kind of already a dark horse to begin with, so we'll see what happens there, Foo. And then, leading into the bulletin stuff, since we're pretty much there already, we had this last episode of Moon Knight, episode 2. It's fantastic. I freaking thought it was badass. But Steph, you brought up that there was something actually unique about these Moon Knight episodes that I actually did not know about.
So this came up randomly on my my Instagram feed, and somebody had pointed out that there is a QR code at the storage unit that you can scan, and it will take you to Marvel Comics, and it gives you a free issue of Moon Knight for that week. And I guess there was one in the previous episode as well, which is, it's in the museum next to one of the statues. And so I think moving forward, there might be another QR code every episode.
That's clever as fuck.
So you
That
get to know a
is.
little bit more about Moon Knight in that way, because the comics change weekly.
These are literal live action like Easter eggs that you can participate in.
Yeah.
That's badass. Yeah, it looks like the issues that they've had are issues 32 and 33 of Werewolf by Night, Varmel's foremost book of lycanthropic horror of the 1970s. In those issues, it looks like the issues are more famous today for being the very first Moon Knight story ever told, in which the Fist of Khonshu was hired to capture Jack Russell, I'm not making this shit up. Jack Russell, the titled werewolf. A werewolf named Jack Russell.
That's a
He's got
dog's
this-
name.
He's got the scruffy little beard and everything.
Could jump really high.
Jumps really high. He looks like a walking tablecloth.
There you go. There you go. Like Zero from fucking Nightmare Before Christmas.
From Nightmare Before Christmas. Exactly.
Woofs and Dead.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I love the horror theme that we're getting from, Moon Knight. They're very much taking it back to like the classic black and white kind of horror.
Yes.
Like the old Mummy movies, the old Dracula and like werewolf movies. So I'm along for the ride, bro. Like they got me hooked. Especially episode 2. Like that was awesome.
Nice. All right. Well, continuing on with the bulletin, I wanted to talk about Bruce Willis, man. He just said that he's going to be retiring from acting, and the reason for that is because he was diagnosed with aphasia. For those who aren't familiar, aphasia is a language disorder caused by damage in a specific area of the brain that controls language expression and comprehension. So aphasia leaves a person unable to communicate effectively with others. Many people have aphasia as a result of a stroke. And Steph, you actually deal with a lot of people with aphasia on a day-to-day basis, right, at work?
I do, because I work for a stroke center.
Uh-huh.
And so most of my patients do have aphasia. And one of the most frustrating things about aphasia is their inability to communicate. So they have to learn new techniques on how to communicate if they've lost their voice, or even have lost their, facial expression.
Mm-hmm.
So it's.
They're not saying he had a stroke, and
Right.
and by all accounts, at least visually, with pictures and videos that I've seen of him being posted of just recently of him, doesn't indicate that he had a stroke. At least it was, and if he did, it wasn't a bad enough one where he lost the ability to move around, because you can have a mild stroke. But
Right.
I mean, what other thing would cause it's just a brain degenerating?
It might even be something like a brain tumor. So not necessarily a stroke, but something that's messing with his frontal cortex, or even the Broca's area of the brain
Yeah.
that's affecting his speech.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? There probably won't even. We'll probably never know.
That's true.
Yeah, it's sad too, especially to see such a former A-list actor, going through stuff like this.
Yeah.
And what's even more fucked up is that, like, the Razzies committee had nominated him.
They gave him
for
his own
last
category.
movie. Yeah,
They gave him his own category because he made so many bad movies in a row. I think I'm going to be wrong, but I think in 2021 alone, he made like something like 11 movies. I'm sure I'm wrong. It's probably
Damn.
already that's a double-digit amount of movies in 1 year is a lot. Especially if you have to travel and learn lines. And I don't know, man. Do you think... I mean, it begs the question, how long has he known that he's had aphasia?
Yeah, I mean, it's had at least started developing over the last couple of years, and actually, the Razzies retracted the category. The worst performance, the worst Bruce Willis performance category was the name of that, and that sucks. That sucks, man. I feel for him, but Jesus, he's probably doling out that many movies just to, he's like, I'm going out with a bang.
Well, they're not like, heavy hitting movies. Like, we're not going to see them hit like the motion picture fucking, spectrum of like high action movies, because he's not getting those phone calls anymore. So I think these are going to be like B movies that he's made, and a lot are still yet to come out. But I mean, I feel for the guy because he's been a staple in Hollywood for a very long time. He's been in a lot of good movies. He's been in a lot of bad movies, but he's been in a lot of good movies too. Iconic movies. One of the best Christmas movies ever made. Die Hard.
Die Hard.
We play it every year in December.
Every year for
Die Hard with a Vengeance. It's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the one with what's Jeremy Irons
and Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was the best one. Mm-hmm. Best one, Foos. Yeah, it's sad, man. But you know what? Our well wishes are sent out to you, Bruce Willis, and hopefully you can go out gracefully, man.
Yeah, man.
Upcoming movies, we got obviously Fantastic Beasts 3, which is coming out this upcoming Friday on the 15th. So far, Rotten Tomatoes has a 59%. The audience score will remain to be seen. IMDb has it as a 6.8 out of 10. And I mean, I'm interested in seeing it just because I saw the other two, and I just kind of want to just finish it off, see where they're going with this particular. Yeah, because I want to see where they were going as far as with the story itself.
Right.
I was very much a reader of the Harry Potter movies and their lore, so that alone is what's intriguing me. Mm-hmm. But I will give it an honest review after watching it. Unlike Steph, but honest and logical, because that's all we are here on the Foobar Show. We're honest and logical, right, Steph?
This is just a movie rating podcast for your listening pleasure.
Oh, jeez.
Pleasure is up for everyone else's debate, but we'll see. Whoa.
And then are we actually pulling this out of our ass today? Did you have anything more in the bulletin there, Josh? Before I move on?
No, Foo, it's time for some doom scrolling.
Some doom scrolling with Steph. So what do you have for us today there, Steph? We haven't done this in a month?
Yeah, because we've had guests on, and
okay,
and then I wasn't as doom scrolling as much because I've been trying to reduce my screen time. But here we are. So pull up the browser.
Okay.
And,
pulling up the browser. Close the porn. Okay.
Type in foddy.net, FODDY.net
.net. Okay.
/athletics. .html.
All right.
And so what you will see is a game that you can use with your keyboard. So it's better if you're at it like a laptop or desktop rather than on your mobile phone.
Okay.
You're going to use only 4 keys: Q, W, O, and P.
All right. There's this guy like at a starting line, like he's racing, and like he's going to do some kind of dash, and the Q and the W control his thighs, and the O and the P control his calves.
Right.
And I'm guessing you're supposed to make him run.
You're supposed to make him run with only those 4 buttons.
Oh, there you go. Oh, and he's dead.
And this is on like Flappy Bird level because the physics don't make any sense. His legs never work.
Oh, God.
He ends up somersaulting backwards half the time. And
he just felt like a Family Guy character.
You just lose. Like, it starts you off at 0 meters, right? And then half the time you're trying to figure out the buttons, you actually...
I can't get past 1.4 meters.
You go back negative meters half the time as well. And he's like constantly doing the splits.
Why would anybody want to play this?
Landing on the back of his head.
Steph, what is the name of this again?
It's foddy.net. FODDY.
All right, are you looking at it right now there, Josh?
I am looking at it right now.
Are you trying to play it?
I'm trying to.
It's so hard, dude. This guy just falls every time, and you can't move him forward. Like, the fuck? And he fell on his head again.
I'm telling you, it's Flappy Bird status.
Flappy Bird, you can at least advance with Flappy Bird.
But you can never make it in between those whatever pipes.
Do you remember what your high score on Flappy Bird was way back when?
I think I got up to 25.
Oh, I probably got in the 80s.
Up to 89, I think.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But
yes.
I can't get this guy not to die.
See, because you have to move the thighs and the calves together. So I'm wondering if there's like a rhythm you have to do, like thigh, calf, thigh, calf, thigh,
I got
calf.
to 1.9 meters.
You got me beat by just a tad bit more meters.
Best 1.4.
He's just doing the moonwalk now. All right, you know what? Fuck this. This came out in 2008?
Right?
This
so
looks like
the copyright's only until 2015.
Yeah, they just gave up
this
on
is
it.
like when I walk home drunk.
It's like I'm trying to run in my dreams.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
It's just not happening. All right, well, Foddy.net, if you want to, let's just say you're having a great day. Like, everything's just going right. If you want to ruin that, go to foddy.net/athletics.html. And it'll be sure to ruin your day. Mm-hmm. All right.
It's ruining mine.
You can't advance.
Oh, boy.
Look, if anybody can get past 2 meters, let us know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's a rhythm. There's a rhythm to it.
I know.
So, where are you at right now there, Josh?
2.2.
2.2 meters. Awesome. All right,
Holy
riveting.
shit.
Fuck this game. Fuck everybody who plays it and plays it well. And that's been another Doom Scrolling with Steph. All right. Well, I think that's going to be enough of that. And so everybody stick around for Foobar Sports.
Nerd!
Introducing Marianne Ginger Snacks. Soothe indigestion, sore throat, cold, and cough with this tasty treat brought to us by Sherwood Schwartz. A Gilligan's Island reference in 2022? Is this even necessary? Why so soon, you may be asking? Well, we're here to look you straight in the eye with tongue to cheek and a wink to say this. Marianne Ginger Snacks. Find it in the Gilligan aisle. Well, it's another emo version of Foobar Sports today. There, Josh, tell us what's going on there.
The hits just keep on coming, Foo. Today we actually lost a good, decent quarterback by the name of Dwayne Haskins.
Mm-hmm.
He recently was signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a backup for them last year, and it was reported today that on the Florida highway, on the South Florida highway, he was struck by a dump truck while walking along the highway. They don't really know why he was down the highway to begin with. This was on westbound lanes of I-595, where oncoming traffic was. And he was down in South Florida training with some other teammates, such as Mitch Trubisky and other wide receivers. So he could have just been potentially on a morning run. I know a lot of athletes go on like really long, exhaustive runs, especially when they're in like a countryside like that. So he could have possibly been on a run, and just because he was running towards oncoming traffic, he probably got clipped. We're not sure, but yeah, it's pretty sad to see this. He was only 24 years old, really young. And there was a lot of speculation that he was going to turn his career around in Pittsburgh, especially with Big Ben retiring. And they just got Mitch Trubisky as more of like another, let's see if we can restore this young this young prospect's career. And it's sad, man. I was really rooting for him. It's a tough one to lose, especially one so young. He had a great career in Ohio State, where he played. And that's what made everyone think he was going to be a badass, NFL quarterback. And unfortunately, it never happened in his short time. But yeah, man, he'll definitely be missed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in other news, Foos, though not as sad as a death, it is a death of sorts. The Lakers did not make the playoffs this year, and in fact,
shocking.
Wow.
They look like garbage, Foo. Hot garbage. It's the season has just been a disaster. Russell Wilson just should not have been traded for. In fact, there has been speculation and rumors that either the Lakers are going to trade him, or they may just straight up pay him off and be like, "Look, bro," because they owe him $42 million this year, and because that was his previous contract he signed in Washington, so they were stuck with this bullshit contract, which is why we can't trade for anyone, and they're just thinking about trading him like $20 million or $30 million. Like, bro, just leave. Like, we don't want you here. Like, you're becoming more of a hindrance and a distraction than really a benefit. And it doesn't help that you have street clothes, always getting hurt. AD, aka street clothes.
Yeah.
And LeBron now, he's getting older, so he's going to be injured a lot more. So we need guys that are going to, step up and, take the reins. And it does not look like it didn't happen. It was really one of the most disappointing Laker teams I've seen since the Karl Malone, Gary Payton finals loss. That was super disappointing, but this trumps that for sure. Sure.
It's been a disaster of a season. Considering the level of talent that's on board.
Exactly.
It's like, what the hell happened?
They are older players. All of them are very much seasoned vets, the definition of seasoned vets, but that they should have done better. And
they're collaborating like they're rookies, though. Like, they should know better and how to work together as a team. I think that the egos and personalities won't allow them, probably.
No, they just don't blend at all. I don't think they really understood what they were getting with Russell Westbrook, and it just did not work out. This is what happens when you listen to LeBron James and let him make your team and try to make a fantasy basketball team. More than anything. You know
what this reminds me of? You remember when Stan in South Park tried to put together a dance group so that they can. So that they can go and serve, another dance group team. They got the goth guy, right? They got a duck, I think.
Yeah.
Who else did they get?
They get the Hooter, the little the Hooters girl,
or what is it? Raisins?
What are they called? Raisins. Yeah, the Raisins girl. And then they got their version of Russell Westbrook, aka Butters, who's the tap dancer. And the reason why I call him the version of Russell Westbrook is because at the end, when he finally joins their team, he ends up kicking his shoe into the rafters and knocking down a beam and killing everyone in the audience. That just goes into this spirals out of control. And he's just left there traumatized. No!
Yeah. That's what the Lakers were this year.
That's exactly what the Lakers are this year. Well, time to move on to baseball, Foo. And thank goodness we finally have baseball back. Mm-hmm. It's been sorely missed. And you know what? We were off to a good start. Dodgers won. Buehler won his opening day debut. They beat the Rockies. That is pretty much that's our opening weekend opponent. Mm-hmm. And I'm here for it, man. I miss it. I'm so happy that we got the universal DH in. We have the ghost runners, which we haven't seen yet because we haven't had any extra inning games, but I'm really curious to see how that actually works in a live game. And then now, Foo, this is a story that I missed last week, but there is a new technology that they've introduced into the MLB that will now allow pitchers and catchers and the defense to signal and send themselves signals via radio transmissions.
Oh.
Or so the pitcher and catcher, like everyone will have like a little transmitter in their glove that they can like tap, and that'll tell them like the differences in the shift. It'll tell them which pitch count they want. And so like it's easier than just doing signs. Now they're just going to have like taps in their gloves, like doing like strange little
Morse
button
code and
sequences
shit, or what?
Yeah, essentially that's really what it's going to be. Morse code. They're just repurposing Morse code.
Wow.
For the pitching signals.
That's interesting. So now the Astros they can't cheat like that anymore.
No, they can't, foo. They can't does it. The MLB said, you're a move, Astros.
Unless they tap into that radio frequency.
Well, that's why they did that, because it is a proprietary, a private and heavily secured type of frequency that they're doing. Mm-hmm. And this was just purely for the whole anti-signaling, gate kind of thing.
Right.
So I'm really curious to see if somehow, like, if there's going to be malfunctions. For instance, let's say that the catcher is saying, hey, I want a fastball. And the pitcher's like, oh, you want a curveball? Okay. Throws the curve. Hey, boom, ball gets past him. I would not be surprised if we see little.
And then we see a couple runs come through. Yeah.
It's probably going to hear the Benny Hill music start playing. Yep. See the gorilla come onto the field.
Yeah.
Trying to help him catch
like, how'd
the ball.
that get there? Yeah, dudes. But let's try to go to a game, man. I'm down to go for another San Diego trip.
Oh,
and
hell
catch
yeah.
a Padres game.
Yeah,
or possibly a San Francisco trip.
Yeah,
catch a Giants Dodgers game.
Yeah, let's just try to do something like that. Or we got Arizona too, right next door.
Oh, exactly. Right. Actually, yeah. Let's try to hit at least all three this summer, foos. Try to hit our next door
Oakland?
Neighbors. Oh, no. We don't talk about Oakland. No.
And then of course there's our red neighbors, the Angels.
Yeah, the Angels, foo. But you know what? The only draw is Shohei Ohtani.
Ohtani, dude. And it's Babe Ruth.
Dude, I would actually be very interested in just going to see when he pitches. Or, if he's for sure going to be batting. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, I'm down to see him. Angels tickets are cheap.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Angels versus Dodger tickets. Usually those are pretty expensive since they're freeway,
freeway series. It's the rivalry too. Yeah, the freeway rivalry. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, man, let's try to hit all of them. I'm so down for this. I love that baseball's back and that everything's finally opening. Mm-hmm. We can enjoy it now. So exciting, foos. Well, what else is exciting this weekend? And it's actually that none other than Tiger Woods has returned to the course, foo. Ooh. He's finally back and hitting the green. And this is on the on the heels of him returning from his pretty gruesome car accident that he suffered last year. Mm-hmm. One, in fact, that everyone believed he was not going to survive. It was a very high chance that he was not going to survive that. He almost lost his leg. And he had to have hip surgery. And the big thing going into this weekend was whether he was going to be able to survive the full, 4-day weekend. Because everything started on Thursday. And even though golf is not necessarily a high athletic, high octane type of sport, mm-hmm. the sudden movements and the torque that goes within each of these movements it's a lot. So for him to be able to at least withstand just the basic movement of going up and down, the actual grass, and then be able to, still golf, it's miraculous. And it was pretty exciting the first 2 days. He did not end today very well. So it's hard to say if he will make it and get the green jacket one more time. Mm-hmm. He's actually missing 6 majors from tying all-time great Jack Nicklaus for most majors ever won. And he's much younger than Nicklaus, because Nicklaus actually won his his 48th or 42nd major when he was like 61.
Jesus
62.
Christ.
Yeah, and Tiger Woods is only 46, man. Like, he's still relatively young.
He can still do it.
He can still do it. It's just a matter of his health. He needs to work back, because like in today's round, I was watching it. He was walking around the green with a limp. Mm-hmm. Like, you could tell the limp was getting pretty bad, and so it's like, maybe he should have sat out this particular major. But dude, it's the Masters. You have to go for the Masters. It's one of the most prestigious golf awards you can win. Yeah, championships you can win. So we're rooting for you, Tiger. But on to the next one if you can't get this one, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, let's see what happens. Again, like you said, he's young, and to be fair, I'm sure that when the older record was set, that's a time when everybody was probably drunk and smoking, and while they were putting on the field. So
I'm sure they had a couple of glasses of Scotch Foo hidden in their fucking caddy bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not impossible, but yeah, more power to them.
Exactly, Foo. Well, Foo, I think that's it for me, dog.
All right, man. Well, let me just play the outro here. And yeah, man, I just, again, I wanted to just thank Dianthus for being on the show today, and looking forward to having other bands like this on the show now that, COVID is becoming less and less of a topic. We're hopefully able to get more people in studio too, and I'll probably try to give this place a little bit of a facelift so that it's not so cramped in here, because it could get better. I mean, I think we could all agree the space in here could be better. And more inviting for guests. So
less dungeony feel, Foo.
Nah,
we don't want our guests
like
to feel like they're about to get murdered.
Well, the shackles are a nice touch.
I know, but the lighting. It's the lighting.
Oh, the lighting. All right, yeah, I gotta work on the lighting. All right, well, I'll take notes if you got them. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it for another Foobar Show podcast today. No real programming news, but we'll let y'all know as we go. But thank y'all very much for listening into the Foobar Show. Remember to hit subscribe and be sure to rate, review, and tell a friend like a freaking champion. You can also listen and get our swag at foobarshow.com. That's FOOBarshow.com. And follow FOO Bar Show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Join in, drop us a line, and we'll fill it up like a couple of foos. I've been Josie.
I've been Josh.
And Steph.
Signing off for Dianthus, saying, don't